Oh, hi, we're back. It's me, SpongeBob SquarePants. Hey, you know what I was just thinking? Who's to say where reality leaves off and our dreams begin? Let's watch this one called Sleepy Time with narcoleptic commentary by Steve Hillenburg
Hi, everybody.
and Tom Kenny.
I'm awake.
So this show we were interested in exploring the dreams of the various characters, and
In a Freudian way.
so this is SpongeBob's fantasy every night, probably.
He dreams about stuff that has actually happened in the show.
So yes, the fact that he doesn't have a driver's license is something that he's frustrated about. Surreal fast food landscape, and then he's driving his dream jet boat car through that. We had a problem with his feet on this shot. See, they're black on black. We had to put those lines around him.
Ha!
So that's Mrs. Puff is his teacher. He's not letting him get away with an unearned license. The gap tooth, I think it just looks, it makes him look goofy, like.
Just funny drawings.
We get a little more insight onto Gary. Actually, Gary's a character too that you always get the impression he's smarter than everybody else. He can't talk and articulate himself, but
there's more going on.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen
SpongeBob?
Gary?
so he's actually talking here, but he never does in this show. Of course, Gary has to be in a library because that's where smart people are, right? And I think they succeeded in, making him look like this intellectual or a philosopher or something.
You sure
He does have this sort of sci-fi feeling about it. He looks like a character out of a Star Trek movie or something there. Oh, peripherin is the Latin for sponge. Again, Patrick was stuck to the underside of the rock there because that's what starfish can do with their suction cups, little tube feet. In the dream with Patrick, we really wanted to make Patrick's dream so mundane, and SpongeBob as a character, we consistently try to make him as somewhat surreal that he could transform, metamorphose into something. It makes him special, it makes him weird and cartoonier.
Even his dreams are lazy. He even dreams in a lazy, sedentary way.
Squidward is always playing his clarinet badly in the series, and this is what he probably aspires. Squidward is an octopus, by the way, not a squid. Oh, I think Squidward, cuts the SpongeBob optimism well. It makes him. Squidward's funny, and you want him to get involved. And everybody asks, why he has only 6 tentacles if he's an
Yes.
octopus, and I always say, well, that's probably why he's angry. There are times when I'm definitely brooding and angry and a curmudgeon, and so I could relate to Squidward. I'm sure he washed his mouth out afterwards several times over. It's pretty much a Jerry Lewis imitation.
Totally. Thank you, Jerry Lewis.
I think right up here, up ahead, we're trying to get a little Beatlemania feel here. Complete with the escape to the limos. Except there is none.
You know, when you look at the storyboard and you see SpongeBob's mouth pressed up against Sandy's dome, you just know that it's going to be like that.
And that's funnier than straight. So Sandy's a squirrel from Texas, an adventurer. As you can see, she likes sky surfing here. And the whole idea of, I would say, with her character is that she's so adventurous that she got bored living above the surface on land and thought living underwater would be challenging.
Kind of like Jane Goodall. She wanted to live amongst the sea creatures.
Exactly.
Wound up getting seduced. There's a lot of manure trucks in this series, Steve. A lot of trucks of poo driving around Bikini Bottom.
Yeah,
Every time SpongeBob enters a new cloud, you guys can create a new universe for a couple of minutes.
Mr. Krabs is the manager, owner of the restaurant. We've never really explained why Mr. Krabs has a whale for a daughter, and we're not going to explain it here either, probably. Right? In the case of Mr. Krabs too, he's the kind of boss that I didn't want him to be just an angry, mean, spirited boss. He's kind of likable. He's just flawed in that he's really greedy, but he actually likes SpongeBob, and I would say he respects him, but then at times he doesn't because he takes advantage of him.
You know, the cool thing about Mr. Krabs is that he is really greedy and avaricious, but not in a real hateful way.
No,
it's just kind of a flaw that he has. Yeah.
Normal greed.
And it's something he can't help. It's like a nervous twitch or something that he's just saddled with.
So the Chum Bucket is where this dream is occurring.
The rival restaurant.
Rival restaurant to the Krusty Krab. Run by this guy who's normally tiny, a little plankton. Plankton are...
The lowest of life forms.
Well, they're actually the... Plankton means anything that drifts in the sea. They cannot control where it moves. And so it includes a lot of things, but mostly microscopic stuff. And this guy is a common form called a copepod. That's what he's based on, and he has one eye just like they do, the real animal.
Extremely tiny.
Yeah.
And angry about it.
Yes. He's our Napoleon.
So the dream of size is great size is what he would give his one eye for. Plankton's another character like Gary that seems to have a disproportionate amount of fan activity.
Yeah, he's well liked.
People love Plankton.
It's a little more surreal, allows you to just, the structure being different than our normal shows.
You know, we know what these characters are like in their waking lives.
Right.
But what do they, you know, what do they dream about?
Right. Which we tried to stick to, like in the case of Mr. Krabs, he's dreaming about making money. And
Right, what's their subconscious
Sandy's, right, trying
imaginings.
to do some kind of extreme sport, and Plankton's taking over Bikini Bottom and smashing everybody. So there is definitely a logic to each thing.